Hello everyone, welcome to the Nanny Wellness Diary podcast. My name is Leogile and I am your host. This is officially episode 1, and today's episode I will be talking about mental health awareness in private household and employment conditions, seeing that October is Mental Health Awareness Month. Before we get into this episode, I have to mention that this podcast is sponsored by Poverty Domestic Solutions. Poverty Domestic Solutions is an educational platform for nanny employers. So whether you are looking to hire a nanny or you currently have a nanny, we have some amazing resources to help you navigate the search and cultivate a healthy working relationship with your nanny. The link to the resources and social media pages will be in the description. Do check us out. So, as I've mentioned already, today I want to talk about mental health in private households regarding the employment conditions. I was severely burnt out last year and I resigned from my corporate job. Burnout was a result of working in a highly intense environment, and my divorce in 2019 also contributed. I was also not exercising that much and my diet was very poor. I escaped my reality by overworking myself and it caught up with me. I genuinely thought I was depressed, but my therapist told me that it's not depression, I'm burnt out and should take a break, because if I don't slow down, then I will be heading into depression. I mean, at the time, I was already feeling miserable and I couldn't even imagine what being depressed would be like. And so I decided to resign. I did think of taking unpaid leave, but I thought to myself, I'm going to go back to the same environment and in no time I'm going to relapse. So resigning was the best decision at the time. And this got me thinking of how some domestic workers suffer from burnout in silence. They are being overworked and underpaid, especially live-in nannies. So during COVID, when we were working remotely, I could relate to what live-in domestic workers go through with being isolated and being called at times and expected to work after hours. So if you currently have a live-in nanny, you have to be intentional about them taking time off. If they were to be burnt out, let me tell you that they will be of no use to you and your child. They are going to underperform and you won't focus on the root of the problem. By the time they are underperforming, you will be focusing on what's just not being done. I also have to mention how toxic other domestic workers can be. I mean, the ghosting, being bullied, especially if you were to hire someone who is older than you and they can see that you are soft or a kind person, they will take advantage of you and then you will end up being drained and emotionally exhausted. So I've always hired nannies that are old enough to be my mother, and in the beginning I really struggled with giving instructions, and with some of the things they do you can see that you are being undermined because you are young. Imagine being bullied in your own home, and some people are scared to take action because they are scared to be taken to CCMA, or they are complacent to look for another nanny because it can be a daunting process. So they end up settling because rather the devil they know, right? One of the things we need to do is empower ourselves with basic labor laws, all of us, employers and employees, because workplace bullying sometimes take place on both ends because of lack of information. One of the other things that you can think of doing when it comes to creating a healthy working environment, creating a wellness program for your nanny. Companies have wellness programs, and even though corporate is different from private households because of budget, you can rate your wellness program in a private household according to your budget. Here are a few things to your nanny. So firstly, you could sign them up for medical insurance. There are products in the market that are tailor-made for domestic workers and are quite affordable, starting from about 300 Rand. They can get access to unlimited private nurse visits and unlimited GP visits when referred by a nurse. We all know how our public health system is in this country. Imagine the convenience if your nanny doesn't have to deal with those queues. The other benefit that most of the medical insurance is one wellness screening each year. Different institutions offer different benefits. So if you are interested in signing up for medical insurance for your nanny, you should do your own research and compare. Another benefit that you can offer your nanny is therapy. I am a huge advocate for therapy. You'll be amazed at how different your nanny will show up and create an even more conducive environment for your child if they are given the opportunity to deal with their traumas. Another benefit that you can offer is organizing financial counsel. Whether it's a financial psychologist or a financial planner or advisor who understands what low-income earners go through. I had a client who used to complain about how her nanny is always asking for a loan or an advance, and this started to make her feel uneasy because she was scared that she might start stealing from her, as it was an every month thing and her feelings were valid. This got me thinking of the lack of financial literacy amongst low-income earners. I am aware that there is a lack of financial literacy even with middle-income earners and some high-income earners, but I feel like there is enough support and information out there that is appealing to them. I wish that financial institutions can curate masterclasses or workshops that speaks directly to low-income earners. Most nanny employers might be discouraged to do good to their nannies because they have been taken advantage of before, and that is fair. I believe that if you set boundaries and you communicate your needs effectively and you also lead by example, it's not going to be easy for people to take advantage of you. And also, you can these perks after 6 months when you are settled that the person you hired, they are the right fit for your family. You should also make sure you are offering the right benefits to your nanny rather than what you think it's best for them. There's no point in you offering, say, medical insurance when your nanny doesn't get sick very easily and they're not on chronic medication, when they could rather benefit more from going to therapy at the moment. I mean, if you can afford everything, that is amazing, but if not, it's best to offer what they really need right now than what you think is best for them. If you have no budget, you can simply check in and make them aware of free counseling services that are out there. There is no point in having these perks if you are going to oppress your nanny. I think ultimately, if there are no perks, most people would rather work in a place where there are no perks, but they are valued, they are seen and heard, where their creativity is not stifled by being micromanaged, and there is work-life balance. Because oppressing someone is mental slavery. Well, that is it for today's episode. Let me know your thoughts. If you have any story of your nanny bullying you, please share it. Also, please subscribe to this podcast and follow us on other social media platforms. I'll see you in the next upload. Bye.